Hey, this is Mr. Coker with Algebra 1 Geometry Lesson 1. So for the rest of the videos I'm going to make during our time of digital learning, I'm going to kind of get you ready for next school year by presenting some of the things that we're going to do in geometry next year. I'm going to start with Angle Sum Theorem. Now I do have a video made on Angle Sum Theorem, but that was made for a geometry class, so I kind of want to make a new one made just for algebra, so we haven't taken any geometry. So, Angle Sum Theorem. We're dealing with triangles here. Now you see I have 3 triangles, each angle has a measurement of some sort listed. So the Angle Sum Theorem starts by pointing out that answering the question, how many degrees are inside of a triangle? Well, inside a triangle, we have 180 degrees. Now that we have to remember that we have 180 degrees. That's the number we're going to use to solve each one of these problems. I'm going to start with this triangle. This triangle we have degree measurements of 60, 70, and the unknown number of x. I'm going to start by writing out essentially what's our formula. Angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, so our 3 angles, add up to equal 180. In this problem, we have 60 plus 70 plus x equals 180. Now this problem should be fairly easy. It's essentially a 2-step equation. But what we can do here, we can combine like terms and only like terms. We can do this in 2 different ways. One way we can combine our like terms, get 130 plus x equals 180, and then we minus 130 on each side. I hope all of this is on screen. And then it's a 1-step equation. We get 180 minus 130 is 50. And we have x equals 50. Now I just said we could do it in 2 ways. The reason I say we can do it in 2 ways, we can also, once we get our 60 plus 170, plus 70, plus x, I'll erase all this in a minute, don't worry. We could minus 60 minus 70, 70, now whatever that looked like. And we'd still get the same thing, x equals 50. So there are a couple of different ways you can do that. Now, when I always do it this way. I just go mentally, it's a little bit quicker. I mean, it's the same thing. Either way, you're going to minus a total of 130. But what this is telling us is that if one side is, we know one side is 60, we know a second side is 70, this, the 60 and 70, we subtract it from 180, and that tells us what's left. We know there's 180 total, so we do 180 minus 60 minus 70, and we get x equals 50. We're done. Now I'll set it up as an equation, and you'll see why I set it up as an equation in the next two. And the reason is because we don't, sometimes it kind of helps to set it up as an equation when we have more numbers, when we have when we have something like this, where we have an expression in one of our angles. Now, if you need to pause this, this is the time to do it, because I'm going to move on. I'm going to erase all of this and move on. See, if I had fancy editing software, I would just stop my video and I would show up with this problem big on the board. Oh well. The next one I have is a right triangle. We have 30, we have this box, and we have 52 plus x. First, the reason I wrote one like this, anytime you see this symbol, hopefully you know, it means 90 degrees. It's a right angle, and it means 90 degrees. So, what we're going to do now is, again, we're going to put, I'm not going to write out angle 1, angle 2, angle 3. I'm going to put, I'm just going to put our measurements. 30, this box means 90. You'll see that at times. So 30 plus 90, and now we have 52 plus x. 52 plus x is our final angle. Now, what does this all equal? It equals 180. Now, again, we can do this in two ways. We can combine we can go ahead and combine the like terms. It's actually what I'm going to do this time. I'm just going to combine the like terms first. You could do 180 minus 52, minus 90 minus 30. That's fine. But when I combine, I'm going to do it the combining like terms route. So I'm going to get 172 plus x equals 180. And now it's just a simple one-step equation. Remember, when we're doing equations, and I should have said this on the first problem, but what we're going to do opposite operations. So we have 172. I'm going to minus 172 because our goal is to make it equal 0. And if I minus 172 on one side of the equal sign, I have to do the same on the second side of the equal sign. So on each side of the equal sign, I am subtracting 172, and I get 8x equals 8. That is solving for x using the Angle Sum Theorem. The important part about this one, two things compared to the first problem. We have an expression instead of just an x, and we have this symbol, which means a right angle, which means 90 degrees. If you see that symbol, just write 90 because it means 90 degrees. Okay, once again, if you need to pause it, this is the time to do it, because I'm going to erase it and go to the last problem. I'm going to erase all of it. Okay, last problem now. We have another one with 3 sides, and now it should be getting pretty easy. One side we have 35, or one angle. I mean, I don't want to say side, because sides and angles, very different meanings when we're talking about geometry. So 35 and 110, these are angles. So angle of 35 degrees, an angle of 110 degrees, and an angle of the expression 2x plus 11. And just for visual sake, let me combine what we did in each of the last two. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3. So, and it equals how much? Hopefully you know by now, it's 180. 180 always goes on one side of your equal sign when we're doing the Angle Sum Theorem. Start with like terms, and again, you can do this in different ways. I'm just going to go ahead and combine all the like terms. 35 plus 110, that's 145, plus 11 is 156. Now, one could say, you might say, well, what about the 2x? Remember, it is not a like term. Because it has an x. We can combine our constants. We cannot combine the 2x. Now, this is a little bit different looking than what we just had in the first two problems, because it's now a two-step equation. But it's the same thing. Start by subtracting 156 on each side. We're going to do opposite operations. Whatever we do to one side, we do to both sides. Now we bring down 2x. It's unaffected. 180 minus 56 is 24. Now we have 2x equals 24. Of course, our answer is not 24 because we have the 2. We have to, the 2x is 2 times x. It's being multiplied. We say, what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. 24 divided by 2 equals 12. And x equals 12. This is the work where multi-step equations come into play, where your skill at your ability to your ability to solve multi-step equations or two-step equations or sometimes one-step equations, whatever, any equation solving skills really come in handy. There's a lot of that in geometry, and these are examples of them. So thanks for watching. If you're doing the digital learning, please feel free to contact me if you need help with this. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.